Hey, yo, what's good, people? It's your favorite, most turned up host, Soto, back with another episode of Mental Health Mondays, the podcast, episode 6, part 2. Right. It was part 1 last week. We had to do our Donda experience because, we performed with Kanye West. You know what I'm saying? We praise Jesus. Guess who's going to jail tonight? Not us. You know what I'm saying? We good. But, that was part 1. This is part 2. And the topic that we're going to touch on today is suicide. And, of course, I can't forget about my co-host,
Dirty Eagle, what's happening?
You know what I'm saying? So today is a holiday, right? Today is Labor Day, right? So, episode 3, I think.
Yeah.
If y'all been watching us for the 5 episodes that we've been on, you know what I'm saying? Episode 3, we had a whole segment where we talked about people that's dealing with mental health through the holidays. And since today is a holiday, I want to start off on that note because when it's the holidays, that's when you feel more pressure than you do any other time because you think that, I gotta go to people's houses or people coming over to your house. You think that you gotta dress a certain way. You think you gotta get fresh, you gotta get flea. Yeah. Mind you, this is for family.
This is for family.
Right? This ain't for people like we go to the club. You know what I'm saying? Like we go to the club every Friday and I gotta be like, yo, I gotta get my hair cut. Like this is family. So like your mind be discombobulated to the point where you just be like, man, I'm finna sit my ass in the house. And you really get sad and depressed about that shit. And so like I just need to touch on that because since we've been doing this mental health podcast, I've been kind of like, man, fuck my family, I don't want to do nothing. Like my little sister asked me Friday, she was like, we want to date house, they invited us over for Labor Day, we for the barbecue, what you got to do? No, I ain't have to do shit. I lied. I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm like, I probably got to work at the club or something.
Right.
It's just like, cause like, I ain't want to get myself, ready to like go present myself to family and shit. And I'm like, dog, like, fuck this shit. Right. You know what I'm saying? So a little statistic, just one statistic, you know what I'm saying? Y'all can go to episode 3 to look up more statistics or go to Google to look them up. But 24% of people living with mental health has found that holidays has made their mental health way worse than what it already is. Yeah. So again, you think you got a lot of pressure on you, you thinking that you got to dress a certain way for these certain people that you see damn near every fucking day. But sometimes you don't see your family every day, but it's like, you don't need to cause that extra pressure on yourself because this Dirty Eagle not worried about what the fuck I got on. I ain't worried about what Dirty Eagle got on.
Yeah, because you decided to wear red because you found out I was wearing red.
First of all, disclaimer, red is my favorite color.
That's mine too.
So red and black my favorite color.
That's
so,
that's my shit. That's my favorite color, bro.
Like I don't know, man. I think Dirty Eagle line up over here, man. I think he got the verses coming up on the 17th, man. So I don't think his mental health is really right. So that's why I'm glad that we on this surface right now, and we about to, and we're about to tackle it, right? So that's the statistic. It's another stat that says 40% of people living with mental health somewhat, right? 40% of people live with mental health, they somewhat like they mental health fuck with them, right? So it's not like the other 24% that's like really, really worried about this shit, but the 40% of people is just like, oh, okay, I kind of got this shit under control because you come to the realization that it's not what it should be. Like, I don't have to get my hair cut. I don't have to go to, the nearest store to give me some new Gucci shoes. They basically just like, okay, I'm gonna deal with my mental health after I leave this. Right. So again, like, if y'all want any more tips, I posted the status today. 4 basic things in life that we should do that's dealing with our mental health. Number 1 is checking on our strong friends. Dirty Eagle. Tell them what it is when we check your strong friends.
I mean, you doing good, bro? Everything all right? Yeah, you need anything, bro?
I'm doing good, man. I probably need a bottle or something.
I got you. What you doing today? You want a bottle of water? You want
I think I want a bottle of juice. You know what I'm saying? Cause like, a lot of people like, I say I want a bottle. So you as my friend, you shouldn't give me a bottle, right?
Nah, so you want a bottle of water?
Right. Like, a lot of people think that drinking, smoking, becoming intoxicated is like remedy, is like therapy to what the fuck you going through. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, sometimes it is, you know what I'm saying, but it's only for a temporary thing because guess what? After I'm outside kicking it, You know what I'm saying? I'm getting turned up. Now I'm up in the house by myself, and I'm feeling more bad than what the fuck I did before.
And now you got less money.
And now you got less money. You do got less money because when you drink, not when you're an alcoholic, but when you drink, you tend to spend more money than you do when you sober, right? Especially if you seriously go to the ATM and take money out of the ATM, be like, I'm gonna just use it just in case I wanna do something, and you don't end up swiping your card. So like, if say for instance I take out $100, I'm gonna be like, alright, I'm just gonna, break this 20.
Right.
That 20 getting broke, you know what I'm saying? I'm spending the whole 20 and I gotta spend another 20, gotta spend another 20. And it's like, yeah, no, we ain't, you know what I'm saying? Right? We ain't do none of that, right? Number 2 is, actually that should have been number 1, but it both go hand in hand. Number 2 is to check your own mental health, right? Like, you gotta be in tune with your own mental health before you check on that strong friend, right? Because it's like, how the hell you gonna love somebody if you don't love yourself, right?
Man.
How the hell you gonna tell somebody else about their mental health, you know what I'm saying, if your mental health ain't good?
Because not only that, if I'm going to come holler at you about something and I'm not checking myself, whatever you got going on may enhance what the hell I got going on. Because I'm mentally not preparing myself to take on whatever levels that you have. So a lot of times some spirits will hop on you and you're not ready for it.
Man, and you just be like, bro, what, you like this? You like what Smokey do?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Like, get off me. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's number 2, right? So number 1 is check on your strong friends, right? Number 2 is check on your own mental health. Like, that's very important again, especially through the holiday seasons. Like, we need that. I know every day, by me knowing Dirty Eagle now, how I know him now, I can call Dirty Eagle whenever I'm feeling have an anxiety attack, if I'm, going through anything that's mental health, and we'll talk about it, and, he'll just be like, man, you know what I'm saying, just relax your mind, bro, don't go outside, don't do this, don't do that. But that's how us as strong friends, we check on each other, right?
Absolutely.
And as a matter of fact, these are not even in any correct order. I'm just going off the list. It says, manifest your day, right? So we all know what manifestation is, right? So that's basically speaking positive words out about yourself or the actions that you think that you're going to do today. So then when you wake up, instead of you waking up and be like, man, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed, today going to be a bad day, right? Be like, man, I know I woke up on the wrong side of the bed, but I'm woke now, you know what I'm saying, and somebody else didn't get a chance to wake up. So I did.
The day just started.
And the day just started, right? It could be 6:30 in the morning, you got to get up and get ready for work, and you don't even want to get up and get ready for work because of your previous day at work. But it's like, you got to manifest that today going to be a good day, right? Because if you manifest that today going to be a good day, guess what? Today going to be a good day, right? So it's a make positive affirmations of how you want your day to go. Once you do that, you will be able to navigate through your day smoothly, right? And you can also do this by making a schedule of things that you're going to do for the day, right? So like, even when you bored, other people that go through mental health, you know what I'm saying, we just be like, man, I'm bored as hell, so I'm for the will on my sorrow, and they make ourselves more fucking bored. It's just like, we don't need that, right? We don't need that at all right? Number 3, is that 4 or 3?
That was 3, this is number 4.
It's number 4, right? Check on your kids' mental health. So not only is our mental health important, right? Because we sometimes overshadow our feelings and we project, watch this, we project our mental health and our hurt on our kids, right? So I ain't gonna whoop my kids when I finally have kids, right? Unless if I'm telling you to do something and you look at me like, bitch, what the fuck you doing? Then I'm gonna knock your ass out like crazy people, right? But it's like, sometimes we take whatever we going through at work or in our own personal life and we're projecting on our kids, not even knowing that our kid is going through bullying at school, or the sibling probably be, you know what I'm saying, teasing them. So you gotta also check on your kids' mental health, because 1 out of every 6 child deals with mental health issues, right? And it starts from the age, I think like 3 or 4. Start from the age like 3 or 4, right? So that's young, right? And you don't really know what's happening until you get older and you start looking at shit like, damn, okay, this what it is. So check on your kids' mental health, all right? Last but not least, it's okay to be selfish, right? So that goes back to the first one. Not only are you checking on your strong friends, you gotta check your own mental health, because if your mental health not good, then you can't have nobody else their mental health, right? So when I say it's okay to be selfish, a lot of times, especially when we're in relationships, we would think like, oh, I can't really take time to myself because my girl will get mad. That's not being like selfish. It is low key, but it's a good thing of being selfish because again, you got to make sure that you good. Yeah. If I'm not good, like if I came in here with a bad attitude today, we probably wouldn't even be able to do this podcast because what's wrong? The whole podcast, what's wrong, bro? I'm like, what's wrong? Nothing, man. Ain't nothing wrong. But there'd be a lot of shit that be wrong, and it's going through my spirit.
Yeah. A good point about that is, man, my wife is one of the people that she goes above and beyond for people, and people would take advantage of your kindness all the time, and then it's draining you. So you're putting yourself in a worse mental state by always giving to somebody and never getting that same reciprocation. You know what I'm saying? So it's absolutely it's nothing wrong at all with being selfish.
Exactly. And see, like he just said, like what I had learned, and this is why I navigate through life like this. Like the shit that you do for other people, you can't expect them to do that same thing in return, right? So that'll be the biggest disappointment. So once you learn that and you get that through your mind, you'll be like, okay, you for the speed through life, right? So when it comes time to make yourself the top priority, everybody else got to come after that. So don't feel guilty about it, especially because you are the foundation of your family, and if your mental not good, everybody that look to you for strength won't have that strength to make you number one, right? So I'm not a husband, I'm single, but he's a husband, right? So he got to make sure he's the man of the household. So he got to make sure, you got all the daughters, right?
Nah,
you got two and two, right? So he got to make sure not only is his boys good and strong, but he got to make sure that his wife's strong and the kids. Now we're going to switch gears, right? So happy Labor Day, you know what I'm saying? Hope y'all ate good. If y'all didn't, you know what I'm saying? Come to the club, play Friday. And get you some good food, you know what I'm saying? Probably some lamb chops, some chicken tenders, some chicken wings. You know what I'm saying? Put something on your stomach, right?
Have a drink.
Hey, have multiple drinks, right? But don't have no multiple drinks while you're dealing with your mental health.
No, don't do that. Because if I see you, I'm gonna make sure you get drunk and then put you on social media.
That guy definitely does that, right? And we don't want you. People can actually commit suicide without drinking too much and getting alcohol poisoning.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So this is a great transition into our topic today, which is suicide, right? So to me, right, suicide is basically killing yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's basically like just taking your own life, right? So what's your definition?
That's suicide. Suicide is you taking your life for whatever reason it may be. You just feel like the pressure of the world is too much, and you don't want to be here no more.
And you see how that last point that we brought up about it's okay to not be selfish. Like a lot of people think that when you commit suicide, it's selfish, but it's like okay, it's 2% selfish, but then the other one is not because like a lot of people don't know what you're going through, right? You can't talk to a lot of people because a lot of people gonna laugh at you, a lot of people gonna judge you, a lot of people gonna try to tell you like, oh no, like don't do this because you got family to live for. That's what's gonna make them do it even worse. Yeah. You know, that's the number one main thing. I think I just read that somewhere. That's why I just stuck in my brain like that. That's the number one main thing. When people come to you and tell you that they're going through suicidal thoughts and anything like that, you don't take it upon yourself to be like, yo, you know, you got kids to look at. Because I know I got kids to look after, but who looking after me?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So suicide is death caused by injuring oneself with the intent to die. So we basically just said that, right? And then we also have a suicide attempt, right? You already know when you attempt to do something, you basically like, I bet I'm about to attempt to drink this Monster. But me knowing that the last time I drank a Monster, you know what I'm saying, I had a seizure, so I can't do it. So it's like I attempt. So when it's a suicide attempt, it's when you didn't become successful in taking your own life, right? So it's a suicide attempt is when someone harms themselves with any intent to end their life, but they do not die as a result of their actions. It's us as black people, when we want to like recall a situation, we always say it's funny how. We don't really mean like something that's funny about the situation we're about to say, but it's just basically like what a coincidence. You know, black people we just say anything, right? So it's like it's funny how, right? We supposed to did this suicide topic like last month, but again, we was on vacation, we was filming, we was dondering, you know what I'm saying? We was breakdancing and running in circles, you know, and we was doing all that. So we really didn't have time to do it, right? So I think what they always say, God may not be here when you need him, but he's always on time, right? So God was really on time with having us schedule this for this because it's just been so many people in the news that has been doing like murder, suicide. That's when you murder somebody and then you commit suicide yourself. Kandi Burress from the Real Housewives of Atlanta, she was just on her speak on the episode that came out last week, and I think she talked to her auntie, if I'm not mistaken. She talked to her auntie and she basically said, I low-key had to catch myself from committing suicide. And I was just like, damn, you never really know what a person go through until they like speak on it.
And you think about somebody like Kandi Burress, they got money, they got the fame, they got all the stuff that the average person out here would do anything in the world for. And even they're going through it. And the really bad thing about them going through it is no one really checks on them. And people they want to exploit.
They want to.
That you're going through some type of mental health shit. Because people will come from miles away to watch you burn.
Exactly.
So, I mean,
like
just think about it. Yes, like they did Kanye. So you think about a person in that situation, we looking at them like, damn, you got everything.
You got everything.
Why the hell, what you crying about? But, I mean, you got everything, but then you have nothing. Like just the luxury of us going to the store to buy a drink or going to the grocery store, even being at the club and not being swarmed, you know what I'm saying? It's just things that we take for granted as an everyday person that if we were in that situation, shit, we might check out.
We'd be like, what? And I'm glad that you said that because it's like, people forget that celebrities are regular people too. Right? We were just talking about Kandi Burress, and not even just her, but a lot of famous people that go through mental health issues, or us as regular people will look at the celebrities and not understand that they are still real fucking people. Right? They always say, right? You can be rich as fuck, and they say either do you want to be rich and miserable, or do you want to be broke,
happy and poor.
You know what I'm saying? So which one would you choose? I don't know which one I choose because you don't know what you would be when you're in that situation. But I know now, right? I ain't broke.
I've been on the side of broke before. And I wasn't too happy.
Broke is eating noodles for a week. Broke is eating surf sandwiches, relish sandwiches, and mayonnaise sandwiches.
So I'ma say the happy, but you know what? The thing that's very important is to do your best and circle yourself around people that can bring that energy to you and make you happy. It's tough, especially when you get in that and then you lose some of the people that was with you along the way for whatever reason. But it's tough to find real good friends when you're in the position where you can do anything for anyone. Like imagine really being a Kanye West, right? And you're going through shit and all you got is yes men around you, or you have these individuals that really don't care about your better interests, or you got this badass wife and everybody's trying to hit her.
And you also got the fans that don't understand.
They don't understand even a break.
What you went through.
Like they don't even want to give you a break. You have to be on 24/7. So I would just, if I'm ever in that position, just do my best to make sure I got, my people, my A1s with me where, if I'm going through something, they're not afraid to let me know what's going on. And then they still can check me, and I don't take it personal. So if I'm doing some shit and I'm not moving the way I'm supposed to move, hey bro, I love you, but you gotta chill on that because it's not the right look for you. You know what I mean? So those sort of things are extremely important. But I don't want to be broke and happy. I don't want to.
I at least want to be booked and busy. You know what I'm saying?
I'll take a booked and busy.
I'll take that. I'll take anything else like that. And it's funny. There you go again. It's funny. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying, that you said it because it don't even have to be your day ones, right? Because the people that I surround myself around with now, you know what I'm saying, shout out to my Go Boys family, is that like they more of my day ones than my day ones is. Right? So it could just be somebody that, to me, that me going through mental health and anxiety for all my life, I have found it very happily, that ain't even a fucking word, but I have found it very good that you can talk to somebody that you don't know and have them in your good graces before you talk to a person that you do know that you know that they know that you're going through it and they don't do nothing about it.
And you know what's crazy though, bro? Like even with us having these conversations, when I talk to someone and they see that they can trust me. When I talk to people, they're looking for someone to express themselves to because you don't feel comfortable talking to nobody.
At all.
So you'll find people being more open with you and just willing to tell you anything because they're going through some shit and they have to keep it protected. And we know why us as black men have to keep that energy protected. But when they feel like they have the ability to talk to you, they're more open. Like if I see one of my homies going through something and by chance they put it on social media, I don't even comment on the post.
Boom.
I go right to him. Hey, bro, what's happening? Holler at me. You good?
Or if you close to them, knock up on their back. Bro, I know you was coming. You ain't have to.
Hey, your hands know.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
you mean me to see you good?
You
I mean, because I'm not gonna do it on social media, but that's how I am, man. If I'm feeling you going through something, I feel your energy is off. We gotta address that because if me ignoring that, I may regret it for the rest of my life because I never got the opportunity when I saw something bad. I never got the opportunity to address that when I had the chance. You know.
Those are facts. And so I just found the clip with Kandi Burress. So she say she was talking about her battle with depression, and she said that she almost ended her life, right? She almost committed suicide. The one thing that stopped her from committing suicide was not finding her mama's gun.
Weird. I understand depression and different things like that because I dealt with stuff like that at a younger age. I had a bout in middle school where I actually wanted to commit, but Lord, praise the Lord, I wasn't able to find my mom's gun when I wanted to do it. So that did not happen. Praise God.
Wow. Right. So imagine you being a kid, right? And you knowing that, you know, your parents always low key. They try to hide it from, but you kind of know when something happens, they be like, yo, I don't touch this. So like so when you going through suicide like Kandi, like if she would have found her mom's gun, then we wouldn't even know who Kandi Burress is, right? She wouldn't even been able to write all the hits that she wrote for Beyonce, like TLC and stuff like that, without, you know what I'm saying, finding that gun. So like it's a lot of stuff that prohibits us from committing suicide because I know it was another girl, anonymous, you know what I'm saying? She took a lot of different anxiety medications that she was on, right? Mixed with some other drug. And she said if it wasn't for her mother, what a coincidence, right? If it wasn't for her mother coming in to like wake up or like to check on her, then she would have been gone, right? And still to this day, she's still living. So to anybody that's out there that's dealing with suicide, man, just know that you are definitely not alone. It's a hotline that you can go to. We'll go through that a little bit later.
Talk about Kandi, man. Can you imagine for all the people that really is going through something and thinking about maybe not being here no more? Can you imagine what her life is like now compared to when it was when she thought there was nothing else she could do? What is the reason to live for? And then by happenstance, she didn't find the weapon, her mom's weapon, and look how successful she became. So there's a light at the end of the tunnel, but you gotta keep traveling through that tunnel to get to it.
You feel me?
You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? Like even though like today I wanted to take the Uber here, you know what I'm saying? I just knew my co-host and my boy was getting here after a certain amount of time, so I was gonna be early as hell, but I still low-key tried to like go through that tunnel to like try to be successful making it in. And look, I'm walking down the street, he coming out the gas. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of risk factors that come with suicide, right? So say risk factors are characteristics that make it more likely that someone will consider, attempt, or die by suicide. They can't cause or predict a suicide attempt, but they're important to be aware of, right? So one, mental disorders, particularly mood disorders, schizophrenia, anxiety disorders, and certain personality disorders. So we ain't really gotta go into detail about that because the one thing that stood out to me is anxiety and certain, like basically bipolar. Right. 1 minute you're happy, 1 minute you're sad, 1 minute you helpless, and then the next minute you got help. You know what I'm saying? Anxiety is basically like a nervous, to me, I be so fucking nervous, even around people that I know, but that's the anxiety, that's a risk factor in suicide, right? Another one, alcohol and other substance use disorders, right? So again, don't drink alcohol to suppress your suicide because that might put you over the edge. You can drink too much, you can take too many drugs, and you will overdose, and you will, you know what I'm saying, drink too much, right? So speaking of overdose, rest in peace to Michael K. Williams, the star of, what's your name? The Wire, right? Omar from The Wire. He passed away today, you know what I'm saying, from a drug overdose allegedly. So rest in peace to him. Anybody, we don't know what he was going through, mental health, anything like that, but it's just, you just be so addicted to one drug that you really don't know when it's going to be your last hit. You know what I'm saying?
There was another TV star, I can't remember his name, just died, but it wasn't a suicide. He was doing some type of drugs at a party. And it was like some
Wow. Yeah, so we got to pay attention to all that. So that's a risk factor, right? Another risk factor is hopelessness, right? So it's me knowing that I have no hope in this world that somebody is going to help me with trying to commit suicide, right? Another one is say history of trauma or abuse. So basically PTSD, right? So you got history of a lot of people telling you that you ain't shit. A lot of teachers telling you that you're not gonna make it. A lot of people telling you, oh, you gonna be unsuccessful. So when you got a lot of people in your life that's doing that to you, it's very easy for that to be a risk factor and you committing suicide, right? There's a long list of lines. Loss of relationships, you know what that is. Lack of social support and sense of isolation. That's very big because again, I never wanted to commit suicide because of the support, right? But support is a very big thing, especially with us in the entertainment industry, because the only thing we need is support. Support is free. So when you see that you're not getting that free support, prime example, right? Again, we perform for Kandi Burress, so we didn't have to pay for tickets. But I'm a promoter, right? Club play, he's an artist. We have shows that we try to get our people to come out and support, and they won't go support it, right? But Kanye West came, Future came, and all these other people came, and you spend $300 for a ticket that you got to see all the way up in the bleachers, where you can spend $20 and see me right here, right? That's lack of support. So you dealing with that, and you like, these people supposed to be my day ones, and they not doing it, right? Like, sad, right? It say know the warning signs, right? So it says some warning signs may help you determine if a loved one is at risk of suicide, especially if the behavior is new, has increased, or seems related to a painful event, loss, or change. If you or someone you know exhibits any of these, it is a suicide hotline. We're going to drop that link below, you know what I'm saying, after the episode. You guys will be able to see that. But it say talking about wanting to die or to kill themselves. So go back to your point earlier, posting on social media that I no longer want to be here. I don't know how many times us as black people has looked on the internet and we have seen that #1 main statement. Me and him know what to do, right? What you do? I'm calling. We text. I done hit a couple of people up like, man, look, I don't know you, but I just feel like I never wanted to commit suicide, but I know what you're going through. So you can talk to me now. I'm your new friend. Right. It was another girl 2 years ago. She was about to commit suicide, and me and a couple of people reached out to her, and so she turned her suicide into a rap song for her, right? That shit just like it. I was just like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, dope that I did that, right? Looking for a way to kill themselves, like searching online or buying a gun, right? So drugs, that's how you can look. Oh, I got these anxiety pills. I got these 800 milligram ibuprofen. Let me take about 4 of them. All at the same time. It's like you can't take all of them because you're gonna commit suicide, right? Again, this is a long list. One say sleeping too little or too much, extreme mood swings, showing rage, or talking about seeking revenge, right? So it can be something. Me and Dirty, you could probably fall in high school like, oh, this my motherfucking bully right now, right? Because again, on episode 4 with Gino Pacino, he said that he was a bully, y'all. So imagine, you know what I'm saying? Imagine like you seeing your bully 10 years later, and now you being like, you know what, I'm gonna get this motherfucker.
He probably changed his whole life.
Revenge, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So again, we have to be very cautious of how we talk to people, because we don't know what people go through, right? We don't know what people go through. Shout out to the Shade Room, right? I know the Shade Room sometimes don't really post a lot of good stuff about the community, like positivity, right? But it is a school, it's a new Illinois law, right, that will allow students to take 5 mental health days off school.
Yeah, that's dope.
That's dope, bro. Like, I wish we had this in school, because just imagine, majority of your mental health, again, it starts at home, but majority of it come from you getting bullied at school, you the first day of school, that's a lot of pressure on you because you think you got to go to the first day of school with new shoes, new clothes, and then your mom probably had to pay rent or something and she couldn't because you know school used to be like September 4th.
Yeah.
So now when you're looking at other people with the same thing, you just like, damn, like now you're getting sad, right?
Yeah.
So I think this is very fucking dope that Illinois is doing this shit because like I wish we had this growing up bad. Like
I ain't gonna lie, I would took those 5 days once a month.
Said once a month? Hey, he said once a month. So
I need a break.
So suicide is not selfish. Got a couple of reasons why. Suicide is not selfish because people who feel suicidal feel like it's a burden on what they've been trying to do, right? So it's just like, man, I know I'm supposed to pay my rent, but damn, I ain't got the money. I really don't want to work. So how am I gonna get this money? So that's the burden that you land on yourself. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy. I was going to say cuss word, but in that moment it wasn't acceptable, right? Suicide is not a choice. Most of the time, people don't want to die. They just want the pain to end, right? So you know how like sometimes when our head hurt, we want to take ibuprofen and stuff. So like when we going through a lot of pain, that can be you just got, you know, domestic violence, your family not supporting you and stuff like that. Like you want to end it up because you think, well, you know that is the only option that's out there because you don't really got nobody to talk to, right? Number 3, suicide is usually a last resort someone comes to when they feel there is no other way to end their pain. That's very self-explanatory, right? When a person has so little regard for their own life, it's hard for them to imagine that others care deeply about them, right? So, you know, like, sometimes when you do stuff, and I always think of people that's out here killing people, right? They have no
regard for life.
They have no care for life at all, right? But they don't know how many people it affects when you do these things and now that you're in jail. So you always got to be mindful that it's like suicide is not selfish, right? Suffering from a physical, mental condition is not selfish. So why should suicidal ideation be stigmatized to be? That's a good question. You know what I'm saying? Making someone who has experienced suicidal ideation feel guilty or selfish is not going to help. Instead, it will most likely prevent that person from ever reaching out to you again for help.
Because they don't trust you.
So again, you coming to me about, oh, I'm finna ready to commit suicide, you probably gonna be like, man, I don't be no fuck. Or like you gonna try to tell me that like, no, don't do that because you got other people to live for. It's like, who are you to tell me that? And I'm coming to you genuinely and telling you that I don't feel good, I just want the pain to go away. You see it, but you're not doing nothing to really help that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I never told nobody this story. The only person that knows is my ex. You know what I'm saying? So I always say it's funny. It's funny because you watch TVs and movie shows about people that's going through like mental health or like they get broken up with, so they want to cut themselves and stuff like that. I was the dummy who wanted to experience that, right? So it was a time where I think it was like 2 years into me and my girl getting together. I know I was the cheater. We talked about this throughout the whole duration of it. But it was basically like my girlfriend was like, it's over. Get all your shit. And I'm thinking in my head like, bitch, I'll pay rent too. But you know, when a female tells you to get out, she don't care if your name on the lease or nothing. Get out, right?
You got to go.
You got to go. So I was like, man, I went to go grab, manager, I don't like pain. I went to go grab like a blade. And I'm just like, low-key like cutting myself like right here. And like right here, but like ain't no blood coming out. It's just like, so I text her.
You ain't busting the skin.
I text her, I'm like, I kid y'all not. It's not funny, but just thinking about it, it's funny because I'm like, maybe this will get her to take me back. I sent her, you know what I'm saying, the video, and I'm just like, I'm finna kill myself, I'm commit suicide. She told my little ass, boy, don't get no fuck. Gee, after that, I'm like, damn, I can't never attempt this again.
Right.
But I'm laughing at it because why the fuck did I do that shit? Right? It was just like me, and I did it because it's something that I'm used to seeing on movies and TV shows. Like, oh, okay, let me go ahead and do this. Let me see what her reaction is. Because sometimes you be like, I'm suicidal, and people be like, oh no, like I gotta stay with you. But it's like, nah. She straight up told my ass, like, I don't get no fuck. And so, like, that was just like my only suicide attempt. And once again, shout out to my boy Ford from Black People Chicago. He one of the main reasons why I started and wanted to do Mental Mondays, the podcast, because it was an episode last 2 seasons ago where he was, you know, he didn't want to be here no more. You know what I'm saying? So, mind you, I knew exactly what he was going through because we both are Aries, and our birthday on the same day.
Oh shit.
Right, so we stomached and we had everything in until we can't have it in no more. And it was almost to the point where like he talked to his day ones and they helped him through and like got him therapy, went to therapy with him and like all that stuff, man. So again, suicide is not selfish. And you know, we're about to get ready and get up out of here, man. So if anybody that's out there that's dealing with suicide, we can still tell your story anonymously. You can just email me at zotoentertainment@gmail.com. You can go to the website, zotoentertainment.net. They're the Eagle. Any final thoughts?
If you are going through something, man, get some help. You know, don't run from it, don't internalize it, don't keep it to yourself. And the best thing you do is to find someone, whether it be a professional or just somebody that you trust, and express what's going on with you, because you need it. And a lot of times we don't feel like we need it or we hold no value to this world, but trust me, you're worth more here now than when you're gone away, you know. So just try your best to seek out some help, someone that you trust, or just a professional, so we can keep you there, man.
Hey, let's normalize seeing a therapist.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Like, even if you got insurance, therapy is free.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm gonna just leave you with this. If suicide ever crosses your mind, just know that I would rather listen to your story than to tell a story about you at your funeral. So just think about that. Again, it's a suicide hotline that we're gonna put down below. It's gonna be in the comments and everything, man. So we just want to thank y'all for tuning in to Mental Health Mondays, the podcast with your favorite most turned up host Soto and my co-host
Dirty Eagle.
This episode will be on next week. The next episode is episode 7, and it's gonna be about PTSD. So if you or anybody else that's out there that's dealing with PTSD and want to come on the show, boom, hit me up, hit this DM up, and we gonna get it. Alright. We gonna